everybody, welcome to another edition of MagicReviewed.com. Today, I'm a little bummed. Days of Wine and Magic. Sorry guys, but I gave it 1.5 stars. Stone Stas of Rubble. I feel bad, but let me tell you why I did it. First of all, it's 80 pages, 85 pages, and it's $40, which already you're kind of starting off on the wrong foot there. It's a pretty thin book for $40. Second thing, for that kind of money, I would think that I'm getting either some very thought-provoking essays or some very good effects with workable and doable methods. I will say there are a lot of good effects in here, but I don't know if the methods are workable or not, because in some cases they don't even give a method. I put all the details, even by page number, in the written review, but there's cases where he says, yeah, this trick works with this gimmick that was around 50 years ago. He actually says that 50 years ago, but I've heard rumor that Stephen's Magic Emporium now sells it. That was the explanation he gave, and the problem I have with that is this is one of the products, or one of the effects that's touted in the ad copy description. So I'm thinking, okay, if they're going to say that effect's in the book, they better teach the method. But no, they don't. There are some, here's one. This picture says it all, what the effect is, right? You have a folded up piece of paper and you got 2 pins pushed through it. And when you take the pins out, the coin can be handed out and there's no damage to it. But somehow those pins were through it while it was folded up in there. So the method, I'm going to read it to you. He uses a gimmick, which I'm not going to tip that gimmick. But he says that it was a penny, a big penny, I guess. The penny was switched at the time of the revelation, which was easy with the cover afforded by the square of paper, after which everything could be examined by the intrigued guests. That's the entire method. There's a gimmicked coin that's used to do that, and then at the end you switch out the coin. It doesn't say how to switch it, where to switch it, what kind of handling you use, where it's coming from, how do you display your hands empty while you're showing this other package with the pins through it. Nothing. The whole thing is described in just this one page. That's it. That's not even one of the worst offenders. There's so many situations like this throughout the book that it's I probably listed about 15 of them in the written review. Just so many cases where the explanation is just not clear. There's other cases where it's so poorly written that I can't actually duplicate what they're saying the effect is. It's actually not possible to do the effect the way the method is written up and described. So just on and on. I feel bad about giving it such a bad review, but I mean, look, there's effects in here like this, like the linking rubber bands. Look at that, how they're linked together. They're actually linked. You can give them out. He follows up by saying that he had the idea to do that with wedding bands, and at the end he says it's not a hember ring. They actually can be given out as souvenirs. Okay, how do you do that? He doesn't explain it at all. There's another one where he's got to ditch a you-know-what. And he says that the way he ditches it is, I put something in my pocket, and while I'm putting the something in my pocket, I dislodge the thing. You put something in your pocket. What does that even mean, man? Is it some prop you're using during the show? Do you put your magic wand in your pocket? Do you pick something else, a piece of lint off the table? There's nothing else in the routine that's laying on the table based on the way it's written that he would be picking up and putting in his pocket. Could you at least tell us what that something is that you put in your pocket? I mean, give us some details, man. Anyway, here, I just flipped to another random page and give you another one. Here's this 30-second puppet by Jay Marshall. In that little 2 or 3 paragraphs there, it describes how to make this puppet. And he goes on to say, and with Jay's superb talent, there followed a routine that would have got him a second booking at the Palladium. What's the routine? I learned how to make a puppet out of a golf ball and a handkerchief. Where's the routine, man? So I'm coming across cranky probably because I am. This is just a little bit frustrating. If I'm going to spend $40 on a book, I'd like to have a little bit more detail. There's another one that's advertised, the coins to rice. It requires you to manufacture something that you probably don't know how to manufacture, and you probably don't have the tools to do it anyway. So you're going to have to hire somebody to manufacture it for you. But of course, in the description it says manufacturing rights reserved. On and on and on and on I could go. There were some effects that I thought were good. There were some clever ones. I forgot to mention this in the written review. The Dallas coin vanish is actually a very clever vanish of a coin. It's very sneaky, very clever. There's this one. My gosh. Okay, look at this. This is a picture of him with a beard. Picture of him without a beard. Okay, that beard was, quote, painted on the business card. And then the trick is you make the beard vanish. He doesn't say how to paint. It literally means painting. He's not talking about Photoshop or anything like that. He paints it onto the card. He doesn't say what kind of paint, where you get the paint, what kind of paper you need to be used to be doing this, how to paint a beard on your face so that it looks legitimate, because people are handling these cards that have this beard painted onto them. So on and on and on. I'm going to shut up now because I'm trying to be a nice guy about this, because I don't have any personal vendetta against Mr. Derris here. I just think this was a poorly put together product. It's basically a retrospective look back in the days of hanging out with a lot of famous magicians that he knew. Alex Elmsley is one example in there, but it's all these stories and stuff from his journals and little scratch pads and stuff over the years that he's compiled into this book. So I get to me that's what this is. It's a journal. It's a notebook of ideas for himself, not something that I think should have been sold. It's a bunch of ideas that he might refer to in the future and go, oh, I remember that session with John Scarney or whoever, where we had this idea, and I need to further develop that and add it to my repertoire. To me, that's what this is. This was his journal. If you want to sell your journal to the public, that's fine, but then pitch it as that, as a scratch pad of ideas, because there's really not a whole lot of stuff in there that's completely fleshed out. There are a couple. There's 2 or 3. But bottom line, for $40, I felt you should have got a lot more than what you got. So that's it, guys. Sorry to be so harsh, but that's my job. That is my job. So let's get on to something that's hopefully a little bit more uplifting with our random iTunes song of the moment. Let's see. There goes my blue glowing iTunes screen. Okay, Foreshadow. Scott D. Davis. I'm sure I've mentioned this guy before. He's a beautiful pianist. And he usually takes sort of rock songs. Like he's done tons of Metallica. He's done he did some Billy Idol. He did Nirvana, Europe. Remember those guys back in the 80s? And he turns them into piano pieces, and they're beautiful. This particular one, Foreshadow, is his own original piece. But the guy's amazing. If you like piano music, or you like rock music converted to piano music, you'll dig this guy. I'll put a link in the description below. Sorry, guys, once again for the rough review on John Derris's book there. But I hope it was informative, and I hope that I prevented you from wasting $40 on something that I just don't frankly think is worth it. That's it for me, guys. Go to magicreview.com. Check out all the other reviews there. There's over 530 something last count. See you guys on the next one. Peace and out.